that's got the whole world talking, and I've a vested interest because I'm the one that did it. Days before the Football World Cup, football's biggest ever star has rocked the sporting world. We're running it. They're talking about it. You can see the entire interview.
Interview to Piers Morgan.
Just breaking in England, an exclusive interview between Piers Morgan and Cristiano Ronaldo.
He's done this huge, high-profile interview. It's now gone outside of football media, outside of sports media, and now is in mainstream news reports.
Cristiano Ronaldo, who has said he is being betrayed by his club. The 37-year-old's comments were made during an interview with Piers Morgan for Talk TV.
Ronaldo releases the intro to an interview he has with Piers Morgan. You got on there on Twitter and you tweeted, "Ronaldo, I don't respect the manager."
Ronaldo, who missed today because of illness, but has also done an interview with Piers Morgan.
Well, Cristiano Ronaldo has accused Manchester United of betraying him in an interview.
There has been a huge reaction to this interview before it's even gone to air.
And here are some of the papers around the world, in fact, from America. We've had Australia. You've had, of course, all around the UK, Spain, Italy. I've had messages on Twitter from everyone, pretty much. Because he is, in the end, he's the biggest star that football's ever seen. Ronaldo has nearly 500 million followers on Instagram. Think about that. He'll pass that total probably sometime in the next week, far ahead of any other human being on the planet. You can see the entire interview. We've titled it 90 Minutes with Cristiano Ronaldo, right here on Piers Morgan Uncensored on Wednesday and Thursday nights, a two-parter, both shows starting at 8 o'clock. It's one of the most explosive interviews, certainly, that I've ever done. Tens of millions of people have already viewed the two short clips we released last night, and there are more fireworks coming later this evening. Because when Ronaldo speaks, people listen. He's not just, in my view, the greatest footballer of all time. He's a global megastar. He's, of course, highly paid too. And he's extremely commercially viable to any club. Sales of his shirts at Manchester United broke all records within 24 hours of him going back. And after a year in which many people, including some of his ex-teammates, have blamed him for the decline at Manchester United, he simply decided he'd had enough. They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
At the senior executive level?
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
And you think they're trying to get rid of you?
Honestly, I shouldn't say that, I don't know. But listen, I don't care. I'm always, people should listen the truth. Yes, I feel betrayed, and I felt that some people that don't want me here, not only this year, but last year too.
Well, already the interview's deeply divided opinion amongst fans and wider football supporters. The club has released a statement today saying it will consider its response when the full facts have been established, which I take to mean after they watched the whole interview. But Ronaldo makes clear throughout our conversation that he has the utmost respect for Manchester United's history as a club and for its supporters. He's as frustrated about the stagnation of the once biggest football team in the world as they are. That's why he's speaking out, because as he sees it, the club hasn't moved forward at all since he left 13 years ago.
I don't know what's going on, but since the Sir Alex Ferguson left, I saw not evolution in the club. The progress was zero. For example, you have an interesting point that how the club as Manchester United, after Ole, they bring sport directive Ralph Rangnick, which is something that nobody understands. This guy is not even a coach. A bigger club like Manchester United bring sport directive, surprised not only me but all the world. You know, nothing changed. Surprisingly, not only the pool, the jacuzzi, even the gym. Even some points, the technology, the kitchen, the chefs, which is I appreciate, lovely persons. They stop in a time which is it surprised me a lot. I thought I will see different things, as I mentioned before, technology, infrastructure, but unfortunately we see many things that I'm used to see when I was 20, 21, 23. So. Surprised me a lot.
May surprise a lot of people. There are more home truths where that came from, and sometimes, let's be honest, the truth can hurt. Nothing was off limits in this interview. No tough questions were pulled. Ronaldo answers them all with a brutal honesty, very seldom seen from a star of his renown. He also opens up about the family tragedy which befell him earlier this year, in which his partner lost one of the two twins that she was expecting. And he talks about the disrespect he feels that he's been shown by United's manager, Erik ten Hag. He talks about the Glazers, United's unpopular American owners, and he talks honestly about criticism of him by his former colleagues in the old United dressing room. A lot's already been written and said about this interview, just based on the small amount we've already revealed. A lot of it, I have to say, is ill-informed bile. A lot of it is just plain fake news. The only way you'll find out what Ronaldo really says is by watching the whole interview here on Wednesday and Thursday. They're trying to force you out.
Yes, not only the coach, but the other 2 or 3 guys there around the club.
At the senior executive level?
Yes, that I felt betrayed.
And you think they're trying to get rid of you?
Honestly, I shouldn't say that, I don't know, but listen, I don't care. I'm always, people should listen the truth. Yes, I feel betrayed, and I felt that some people that don't want me here, not only this year, but last year too. The owners of the club, they don't.
The Glazers.
The Glazers, they don't care about the club. I mean, professional sport. As you know, Manchester is a marketing club. They will get his money from the marketing. The sports, they don't really care, in my opinion.
Do you ever talk to them, the Glazers?
Never.
Never?
Never.
Not since you've gone back?
No. They give all the power to the president, the sport directive.
A lot of Manchester United fans are very negative about the Glazers. They think they're taking all the money out and not spending enough on players, on the infrastructure issues you talked about. Do you think the fans are right?
The fans, they're always right. I think the fans should know the truth, should know that the players, we want the best for the club. I want the best of the club. This is why I'm coming to Manchester United. This is why I love this club. But you have some things inside the club which don't help to Manchester reach the top level, as City, Liverpool, and even now Arsenal, for example, which is complicated. It's difficult. It's hard. In my opinion, it will be hard for Manchester to be in the top of the game.
One of your biggest critics has been, and I'm surprised about this.
Me too.
Wayne Rooney,
for example,
who you played with for many years very successfully and were good friends with him. And yet all this year, 3 or 4 times, he's come out and attacked you in the media.
Piers, I don't understand. You should ask this question to him, but I don't know. I don't know why he criticized me so bad. Or
is it jealousy as well, perhaps, that you're still playing and still in the
Probably, because he finished his career with 30s. So I'm still playing high level. I'm not going to say that I'm looking better than him, which is true, but... But
that is inarguable. I mean, there's no contest.
It's hard to listen that kind of criticize and negative about people who play with you. For example, Gary Neville as well.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Neville, you blanked him the other day on the pitch, and he looked quite upset, actually, because he obviously likes being your friend. But he's been pretty critical of you as well.
The people can have his own opinion, but they don't really know what's going on. For example, inside the training ground and Carrington area, or even my life, they should listen not only one point of view, they have to listen my point of view as well. Because it's easy to criticize, but if you don't know the old story, it's easy, you know. But it's, Piers, as I say before, it's part of...
Are they still friends of yours, or do you have a line where...
They are not my friends.
Do you feel a bit betrayed when they do that because you played together?
It's easy to criticize. I don't know if they have a job in television that they must criticize to be more famous. I really don't understand.
Do you think they use your name a bit to get attention?
I think they take advantage of that because they are not stupid. And I really understand, and I have to carry on with my life with criticize or when the people speak good about you. But it's hard when you see people who was in the dressing room with you criticizing that way.
It must hurt.
It's not good. Yeah. Yes, I did, but not hurt. I'm not gonna be more slim. I'm not gonna sleep bad because of the criticize. But it's not good to listen that.
Disappointing.
A little bit, yes, disappointing.
You'd lost your baby son, and now your baby daughter's in hospital.
Exactly.
And you must have been absolutely
I
beside
spoke with the
yourself.
directive and the president of Manchester United, and then kind of that didn't believe that something going wrong, which is make me feel bad.
Really?
Yes.
They didn't believe you.
They believe you, but in the same way, they are there. I never is ever going to change the health of my family for a football. Never. Now or 10 years behind or forward. And it's something that really hurt me because they doubt of my words that I struggle, especially Bell and Gio. We had 1 week in hospital because the Bell have a big problem. And I didn't go to the pre-seasons because of that, because I didn't was allowed to left my family if something happened to do it a pre-season, because I think it wasn't not fair to left my family for a pre-season. This is why I didn't go.
What he's done is, if you think of United's best performance in recent seasons, it was against Tottenham. It was such a complete display. And the aftermath of that was all about Ronaldo, him leaving Old Trafford early, his frustration, him refusing to come on as a substitute. Now you have United, going off to the World Cup with a massive victory, dramatic late winner by Garnacho, the new young talent, just such positive vibes. And then that quickly again taints and becomes the whole Ronaldo show. And now Portugal's World Cup campaign is also going to be dominated by his future. Ultimately, he's doing what he wants for himself, which is positioning himself for an exit to a Champions League club.
What's the plan now then? Because, Eric Ten Hag won't be particularly happy about this. Cristiano Ronaldo has made it clear that he's not happy. What happens now? What's the plan?
Well, United were in the market for a forward in the summer. They've known, with or without Ronaldo, they need to forward plan. They need a long-term option to be their guarantee of goals. There is some difficulty because they were estimating that at least 4 top clubs would also be looking for a striker. But I do know that they have a short list. They were looking at Sesko, for example. They like Osimhen. So United have been going through their options. Ultimately, though, how they handled this Ronaldo situation, I think they've got to be quite strong, because they've sort of skirted and sidestepped and tried to show respect to him and his legend status at the club. And what we've seen from this interview is Ronaldo sort of showing that he's not happy that he's not being indulged anymore. That's why he's saying he's being forced out. If you can remember, United did everything to try and, hold on to him, not for sale, try to make him happy. He had the armband just recently. Ten Hag, even when he has been disrespected by Ronaldo, has tried to be on the player's side, not sold him out in the press. And yet you still have the situation where Ronaldo is looking out for Ronaldo. So United ultimately need to get rid of him in the best way possible, because I think Ten Hag, like I said, the pre-season tour, how he's handled Ronaldo's disruption, he's done everything right so far. But as a club, United have still tried to not sever ties with him, whereas he's showing them now. He's putting them in a position basically to say, this is endgame, this is final. He knows there's no way back for him at United, and it's now the club need to be quite strong in just ending that.
He's just made it all about himself, and I don't like that. The fact that Manchester United have just won the game in the last minute, the young lad Garnacho obviously getting the winning goal. All of the headlines should be on that, and the team and the performance, and yet it's not. And we can't doubt what a fantastic player he is, world-class, superstar, a legacy within Manchester United, but you just feel, is that getting tainted a little bit with all of this? So yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the fact that he's come out and sort of made those comments and made it about him rather than the team. And we know it happened before It's happened on numerous occasions, hasn't it? Pre-season, he's come out and said he wants to leave the club. So the pre-season and all of the talk of, you know, the Manchester United going into the league wasn't about Manchester United, it was about Ronaldo. And then, obviously, the Tottenham game, probably one of their best performances and results. Ronaldo walks off, and again, it's all about him, and I just don't like it.
I think from a fan's point of view it is. I think from a player's point of view, is there anyone big enough and bold enough within the changing room to stand up and tell him a few home truths about him and about what he's given off to the players and what he's doing? I think if you've got big characters within the changing room who are willing to say something to him, I think that needs to be done. But I don't see it. Because I even think with the bit about walking off from the Tottenham game, there should have been something said there. Maybe there was, we don't know. But I think he did apologise on his Instagram account, didn't he, or his social media platforms. And I think he said he actually spoke to the players now. That's fine, but it continues to happen, so the players have to do more about it. It's just so ill-timed, isn't it? It's just so poor from him. And why does he have to do it? Why does he feel? For me, I just look at it and go, it's cowardly to do it at this point, where you're not going to go back into the changing room. Why not do it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? Why not do it at the start of the season? Why do it at the point before the World Cup? Because you know that you're not going to go back in front of the fans. You're not going to go back in front of your teammates. OK, he's got a few of his teammates within the changing room at Portugal. Are they going to say something to him?
You called me out, and listen, if I expected anybody to call me out on Twitter, it was you. And you beat anyone else that was capable to the punch. So I respect you for that. But you know what? On this whole issue, you can't sit here and defend that from Cristiano Ronaldo, because deep down, and I know for a fact, this has all been manufactured for one thing, and that's for him to leave the club. Like this love affair with Man United that Cristiano's had is now over. In my eyes, I'd like to get your take on how you feel on it, but I don't feel that there's any way back. I don't feel that the club will take him back, and I don't think that he wants to come back. I think that is a given, and I think this is all manufactured for that reason, that he wants to get out of this place.
No, I totally agree, but I mean, what I want to sort of ask you as well, though, I mean, this is why. I don't. People always, I think, have got the idea that I sort of don't like Cristiano Ronaldo, being very critical of him. I was more critical of the club for bringing him in, because I don't see how nobody saw this happening. How would you think it was ever going to end for Ronaldo at Man United? Because the player he was never going to accept being a substitute, and at some stage, because of his age, he was going to have to be a sub, and that's come now. His first season on an individual level, he still scored about 25 goals. He's fantastic, certainly in a team who weren't great and at his age as well. But I don't see, when all that euphoria started when he first came in, I could see it a mile off. How it was always going to end like this. There was no other way this was going to end, and I couldn't believe.
I know I've heard you say that a few times, but my point was always, and what it's like. Jamie, when you're in a club, if the manager doesn't, or the club doesn't communicate with you properly, things can go left. I think you've got and someone like Cristiano, given what he's done in the game, he's in a place where he deserves that.
I think some of the points Cristiano makes are valid.
Like what?
Like, he left in 2009. Well, when he left, Manchester United were still world champions. And when he came back, the club were a long way from that point. And the training ground probably hadn't changed enough. So he left the best training ground around, and it is no longer the best training ground.
No.
Tottenham, Leicester, I could name lots of others. Old Trafford, the infrastructure. And United under the Glazers have been slow. So he's got some valid points there. But he knew the team he was going back to. He knew it was about recovery. And I was excited when he signed. I think most United fans were. And I think last season he was successful. Where would United have been without his goals? But his form has dipped again. I don't think he's finished as a player, maybe just as a top-level one for a top team. Manchester United are not quite a top team yet either, but he wanted to go. He wasn't pushed out, he wanted to leave. There was a lack of offers came in for him. He told people he wanted to leave in the summer. Manchester United would not have stopped him leaving the club. It would have freed up money to sign a forward. United need a forward. Scored 20 goals this season in the league. Manchester City have scored 40 goals this season. So the club are all about, and Eric Ten Hag's all about, togetherness, being united. I think there's clear evidence that there's improvements there. Had some really good results this season, and performances, not just results. The performance against Tottenham, the atmosphere that night was the best in years. It really was. And unfortunately, Cristiano has not always been a part of that. He's gone from being the main man to being a peripheral performer for Manchester United, and it is sad to watch. But it was also sad to watch the decline of other great players. He's human. Maybe he's superhuman, but he's still human.
I don't think Sir Alex Ferguson should be getting involved to calm this down at all. I think the club need to take... There's no way back for Ronaldo. You said you don't respect the manager, which in turn, it means that you don't also respect the fans. You know, the fans are trying to get behind this manager to move in a new direction. This is a player that, okay, there was things going on in the summer, but he wasn't at pre-season training. That's fine. It was family reasons, but comes back and doesn't cover himself in glory with loads of reports that he wants to leave. Fair enough. I think in this interview, there's going to be even more to basically say, I wanted to leave and they didn't let me leave. We'll have to wait and see. This is a player that, against Rayo Vallecano, I was sitting right next to the players who didn't play in the press box, next to the players in the players box, and they all left, and it looked very meticulous that they left. And Ronaldo was the only player who was playing to do that. And I think Eric Ten Hag took a great step and made it about the whole team instead of just Ronaldo. So in my view, he protected him. Fast forward a few months of Ronaldo not being in the team, we then play against Spurs and have our best team performance of the season, and he proceeds to walk off down the tunnel and drive home. I don't care what was said before the game, how many minutes you thought you was going to play. You don't do that. And he's got a problem with the likes of Wayne Rooney. Doesn't know why Wayne Rooney criticised him. He criticised you, Cristiano, because you don't do that. Gary Neville criticised you because you don't do that. And if Alex Ferguson was to come in now and try and calm the situation down, I think it would be even more toxic than it was before, because I think what Cristiano Ronaldo is proving, in my opinion, is that actually he's putting himself paramount. And look, you may argue that that's why he's been the player that he's been for his whole entire career, because he's always put himself first. He's made fantastic memories at Manchester United, which I don't think can be undone. He's a Real Madrid legend. He's achieved everything in the game, maybe because he has this attitude. But I don't think that preservation of his legacy at Manchester United is at the forefront of Cristiano Ronaldo's thinking. What's at the forefront of Cristiano Ronaldo's thinking is Cristiano Ronaldo. So I don't want to see the likes of Sir Alex, who's been through a lot, let's not forget, in the last few years, health-wise and things like that, stepping into this mess, to this disrespect, the other way around from Cristiano Ronaldo to Manchester United and trying to sort this out. I think that'll be the worst thing possible. I think they need to find an exit strategy for him. They need to terminate his contract. He's on an awful lot of money. I don't know how much it's going to cost to cancel that contract. But I think leaving him there and saying you're not going to get your own way and paying Ronaldo to stay at the club, that's just bad business for everybody. I think it's time. And I think Ronaldo is even coming to the forefront with this because he knows it's over and he doesn't care. He wants out.
Manchester United notes the media coverage regarding an interview by Cristiano Ronaldo. The club will consider its response after the full facts have been established. Our focus remains on preparing for the second half of the season and continuing the momentum, belief and togetherness, they say, being built among the players, manager, staff and fans. So
this is what he said. I don't have respect for him because he doesn't show respect for me. If you don't have respect for me, I'm never going to have respect for you. And on returning to United in the first place, he said, I followed my heart. He, Sir Alex, said to me, it's impossible for you to come to Manchester City. And I said, OK, boss.